You know, if you take everything I've accomplished in my entire life and condense it down into one day, it looks decent.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of The Decent Show. It is Ryan, joined by Reagan, and we are going to be reviewing The Rise of Skywalker.
Fuel, Hope, Rebellion.
Rebel Scum. And so we're going to be going over all of it today. Reagan's seen it 3 times, and I've seen it once. And so our opinions are going to be interesting. We should have seen it together, but because I think you would have appreciated it. I did laugh a lot throughout the movie. I think you would have had a good time.
But you laughed at parts that weren't funny.
Yeah, it was good. No, it was good. Before we dive too deep into this episode, Spotify a while back did a thing where they reviewed your music for the whole year. If you had a premium account, they broke everything down, top 5 artists, all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
And everyone was posting theirs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So everybody was posting who their top 5s were and all this and that. And somebody posted I saw a lot of them, and I was surprised by a lot of people. I was like, oh wow, they listen to some different stuff. And even if it's all generic, it's different genres. So I was like, they got some variety, even if it's a generic artist in each genre. But then somebody posted the most basic top 5 I had seen, so I screenshotted it. Top 5 artists. Number 5, Marshmello.
Yep.
Number 4, Tory Lanez.
I don't know who that is, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, he's basic. Number 3, Travis Scott.
Travis Scott, okay. Ed Sheeran.
2, Drake.
Drake, wow.
Number 1 is Posty.
Post Malone.
Post Malone. That was a top 5. that was about as basic
Jeez, dude.
as it could get. I just couldn't imagine listening to that much Post Malone. I really just... He's not that good. He makes good songs, and I can tolerate it, but I can't imagine listening to him to the point where he's my number 1.
Yeah.
That's just so much of I'm a pop rapper.
Sunflower.
Yeah. Songs. And so, yeah. And then my top 5 was kind of weird because it was...
I was disappointed in it.
You were?
Yeah.
Why?
Read your top 5.
I don't even know it anymore. It was number 1, Schoolboy Q. Number 2, Eminem.
Yeah, number 2, Eminem.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
I couldn't believe it happened either. I really listened to that Schoolboy album that much, I guess. And then I was disappointed that Mac Miller was number 4 and Freddie Gibbs was number 3, and then Logic was number 5. I wasn't happy about that. I felt Anderson .Paak should have been in the top 5 and get rid of Logic.
Disappointed in that too, actually.
So get rid of Logic and add Anderson .Paak, and then put Mac Miller above Freddie Gibbs. Freddie Gibbs probably shouldn't even be in there, but I don't even really know who would replace him. Because he had 2 or 3 projects drop, and I like him enough to where I listened to all of them, and I guess it just gave him...
You just keep listening to it, basically?
Sometimes. He had 2 or 3 songs that I had on repeat for a really long time. So because I did a lot of weddings, and they were really hype songs, so I'd listen to them after the weddings because I was already hyped up. And so anyway, he got a lot of credit. But anyway, about the top 5 that I do have, though, if you remember the names that I said, it was 2 black guys, 2 white guys, and a biracial guy. So
Okay.
my top 5 was 2.5%, or 2.5 white, 2.5 black, perfectly split down the middle between white and black, which I thought was impressive. Racial equality.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, just.
Did you have a top 5? Did you look at yours?
No, it didn't. There wasn't a top 5 for me. I tried to look and there wasn't one.
They're you only listen to Nickelback and
No,
Eminem, so there's
I
nothing.
listen
We
to
don't have
literally
enough.
nothing on Spotify. The only thing I listen to on Spotify is podcasts. So there was no top 5.
What do you listen to on? You listen to Apple Music.
Yeah, Apple
So
Music.
why listen to Spotify at all?
I use it for podcasts.
Apple Podcasts though.
They're not as up to date.
Oh.
Yeah, and I've also been trying to get this show on there. So that's what I've also had Spotify for, is trying to get it on there. I still have yet to find. I know how to, but I don't want to pay for it. You know what I mean? It just seems like a stupid thing to have
I have
to
an
pay.
account, so can you do it through my account? Since I'm already paying for it?
No, it's a third party thing. I have to use a third party thing to take basically when you make a podcast, you have this RSS feed, which is basically the RSS feed basically updates for you, so you don't have to put in the name of everything and your description, and it just uploads immediately, which is really helpful. But to transfer that feed, everyone wants to charge you for something, whereas Apple Music or iTunes, they have their own service built in. So you have to use like a third party for Spotify, and like I would pay it, but it's like $5 a month or something, and I'm like, $5 a month for this? Like I could either have Hulu, or I could upload a podcast to the second most popular like podcast distributor. Like it's like a little pricey in my opinion. Like why can't I just pay $10 and be done with it? You know what I mean?
Pay $10 once
And just get it uploaded. Like I'd be fine with that. I just don't like the idea of like a monthly fee just to upload like this feed.
Once we get big enough, we'll start paying it. Which
We'll hire a secretary.
Yeah, we'll get there. Are we going to talk about Juice WRLD's death at all? Do we need to talk
We
about?
can if you want to.
We can
I
save
don't
it.
have anything to say. Like,
All
do
right.
you have anything to
Yeah, I
say?
have a lot to say. I liked
Well, you
him.
go ahead.
He should have been in my top 5 probably instead of Freddie Gibbs, but I didn't listen to him that much this past year, which I should have. Anyway, I don't know. I guess it's all been said at this point. It's all happened. You know, it's over. But he like died at like 21.
Super young.
He had multiple lyrics about like not making it to 21 or barely making it to 21, and then or that's what he said. He had I screenshot the song called Legends. I think they've highlighted it on social media. It didn't take them long to find it, but basically he says like fuck the 27 club, we're not making it to 21 or past 21 or whatever. And sure enough, he like died like 2 days after his 21st birthday.
What's the 27 club?
All the famous artists that have died at the age of 27, like Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse, and whoever else. Hendrix. Mac Miller died at 26, so he was almost there. So anyway, yeah, so that was like pretty trippy. And then it was just kind of weird because he like I guess had a plane, like he had a private plane. And I guess they had a bunch of weed, codeine, and guns, or at least weed and codeine. I feel like the guns was maybe in question. I don't know. I didn't like finish researching it. I guess they didn't really like finish telling it. Of course, I was just following it on Snapchat, so I don't know. Anyway, like the pilot basically like alerted authorities before they landed that, you know, the plane had a bunch of shit on it. And so the cops like showed up, and he, I guess, had pills on him, and he didn't want to get caught with the pills, so he swallowed them. And then he like had a seizure and OD'd, and they couldn't save him.
Wow.
Yeah.
I forgot that's how he died.
Yeah, no, that's Juice WRLD.
Oh yeah, I know. I forgot
yeah.
that. I know he OD'd, but I didn't.
Yeah, so that's how they claim it like went down. So I think that's kind of, you know, it's kind of sad. Well, it is sad. But yeah, he was good. Kids liked him. I played him a lot at like that 14-year-old birthday party that I did. They wanted a lot of Juice WRLD. But yeah, and his streams of course went up. But
When you have all that money and like you can do all that stuff, you know, like why do you have to take drugs? I don't understand. Like, is that like just a total like white person thing to say? Like,
I don't know. I don't know. I can't explain it. I think they just like.
Do they get like pressured into it, and then they
Yeah,
just
they kind of get.
care?
Yeah, they get pressured into it.
They get
They get addicted. It's also easy because they're like stressed out because fame is very stressful. Everything they do is in the news. Every song, every album has to be the next best thing.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know. It's just. It gets messy. And they were probably already surrounded by drugs before, and now they have money to have like all the drugs. So they're like, okay, like we'll have all of them. Yeah, because they have the money too. I don't know. It's a variety of things. And then the guy that I used to DJ with in Tulsa, he raps as well, and he always posts on like YOLO, that little Snapchat anonymous question app.
Yeah.
He's always posting shit on there, and then like somebody else I went to school was always posting shit on there. I was like, I'm gonna download this thing and like fuck with these people. And so I downloaded it, and he put a thing on there. He said, "I'm so bored. Say something." And I put, "Dude, your music is fire. Would you be willing to poop on my chest before you're too famous? I'm a non-binary pansexual."
You said that.
Yeah.
Nice.
And he said, and he just laughed.
He put that up there. I
Yeah,
guess?
and I don't know if he knew it was me, but
Has he ever had multiple conversations with you?
Yeah.
So he probably knew it was you.
probably
Like
knew
I
it
feel
was
like
me.
that's right up your alley.
Yeah, it's right there.
Unless you're being super like fake at work.
I have no idea.
You don't even know if you're being fake. You just lost the line that much. Huh?
Pretty much. And so that's everything I have on the screenshots. Everything I have left to talk about is, I guess, about Skywalker. I have a few people on Facebook like posted their Star Wars lists, and I had some thoughts on them.
Interesting. Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
so see what you think about these people lists, see about your list, my lists.
Oh,
I mean, we don't. I mean, it could be an impromptu list, and then we can revise it later. You know, because I know we're kind of just already in the episode. But
I should have pulled that up before we started. Oh well.
We'll do it on the fly. We'll figure it out. It's we're rolling with it here. So anyway, I've talked a lot. Reagan, what's happening with you? Are we, you got anything to say? You got any funny anecdotes? Or are we jumping into Star Wars? Or
Dude, I feel like I was saving some. I know Troy's hit me with a few good ones, like since I've talked to you, but like, I don't remember what they are, but they were good. I don't know.
you didn't write them down?
No, I don't, man. I was like, I'll definitely remember that. Like, it's pretty hard for me to forget that. Like, it was that memorable, I guess. But
Does he repeat every now and then, so it's easy for you to remember?
yeah, he does some repeats. I've heard the CAT scan one a few times. But I'm at this point I'm a fan of it. Like, I'm not really gonna hate on him for it. I'm almost excited, It's like nostalgia.
He's
When
gonna do
here we go.
He's got
Calling this guy stupid.
He's got the cat scan joke.
Yeah, he does that one a lot, and he does the one where, how did you get to work today? Like, your wife definitely drove you to work. There's no way you found your way here on your own.
Oh, God.
And, like, it's super tense at the moment, but I'm always in just laughing mode, I guess, because I know nothing's going to happen, so it's just really funny to me that someone's that rude to another human being.
Yeah.
Basically just for being stupid, honestly.
I would love to do that.
If only that were a job.
Yeah.
Then we could do it. Yeah, I guess we should get right into the movie. And
Okay.
at this point, like, I don't feel like there's any point in. Is there anything like we need to say before we talk about spoilers? Like, is there? Would you like to
No,
go
we can- no.
surface level or just go completely into
Yeah,
it?
we can just get into it. We can spoil it.
So, what did you think of it? I'm surprised you liked it. Honestly, like, I know you said you liked it. I'm like,
Well,
I'm surprised you liked it
Why are you surprised that I like it?
because it's pretty dumb. Like, it's a pretty dumb movie. Like,
You think so?
there's some dumb things in it. Like,
Okay.
for sure. Like, I was fully prepared to be like sitting across from you and being like, yeah, dude, I hear you out, but I like the movie still. Like, I know that's stupid, but
Okay,
I like the
give
movie.
it to me. What's stupid?
Like, The Emperor's Back is stupid, and they
Yeah.
never explain it, which is even dumber
yeah.
and pisses me off.
I liked it, though. I was like,
Oh,
cool.
dude, I was like, yeah, that's awesome. And like, dude, they like clone him, and I'm like, I really wish we could have seen that, but all right, like, this is fine, I guess.
Why do you want to see it?
Because it'd be dope, dude, just to see him like come out of like a canister or something, like water hitting the ground.
Yeah.
See all the wrinkles, without
Yeah.
the robe. That'd be good stuff.
Just now that you've already touched on it, before I forget, because I didn't write this down, I feel like, so, Rey has healing powers.
Correct.
Palpatine in the prequels had, promised Anakin the power to save Padme.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of feel like all of that is like tied in together. I feel like Palpatine maybe did already have the power to like heal people, and he was like studying healing and cloning and living forever, like in the prequels, that kind of stuff, and he was kind of promising that to Anakin to lure him into the dark side to save Padme.
But do you think healing and bringing someone back from the death is the same thing?
I feel like
Because she
I
dies
feel
in
like
the
if
very
you're,
end.
I feel
but,
like studying one helps you study the other. Like I feel like they're maybe in the same realm of dark arts or whatever the hell they're doing. You know what I mean? They're just they make shit up, and that's kind of what I want, because like it's a fantasy world. You don't have to
have the same things.
You don't have to have the
every
same
time.
things every time. You can make new shit up, and and try to make it make sense or make it seem like it fits in the world, but it doesn't have to be, I guess, perfect. But I don't know. I just feel like him doing all of that, and then him basically being cloned and basically being immortal and continuing his reign. I feel like all of that's related. I feel like he was successful in that. It was like a long process that took over 9 movies. Yeah, whatever.
You know what I really enjoyed? Like, speaking of new powers, I really like how they're connected. How they can sort of be in the same place
room,
but not at the same place, and they can transfer things back and forth.
I like
kinda
that,
like
and
that.
I like that, and don't like that, because I don't get it. It's pretty wild. The fact that he like snatched her necklace, the fact that they like. I did love it when they exchanged the
The
saber
lightsaber,
to
that's
help each
awesome.
other out to kill bad guys.
That
I
was
was
dope.
like, that was lit. But like the necklace stuff, I was like, dude, what? It's the same thing, but it's like, it just seems
in
so
the Last
convenient.
Jedi, like, he gets the water on his hand.
Right, and I remember that, and it's just like.
But you said right, as if you remember.
I know, but I'm saying, like, they did it a little bit in the last movie, and they did it a lot in this movie, and I just don't... It's hard to wrap your head around that.
Yeah.
And also, in Last Jedi, they're implying, like, at first, they can't even have... or maybe it's in Force Awakens. But either way, like, in one of those movies, or both of them, they, like, are surprised that they're talking to each other when they're not in the same room. Like they're like across whatever, and they're like having a
it's in the Last
conversation,
Jedi.
and they can kind of see each other's location and stuff. And then they're like, the amount of force that this would require would kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And then they find out that Snook was like connecting their minds. So
Yeah.
how are they continuing to do this in movie 9? Like they're continuing to do it, and it's even more expanded.
And stronger, I guess.
They're
They've been
stronger.
training. She's been
That's
training
what
with
I'm saying.
Leia.
That's what I figured.
He's been killing
It's a
people.
cop-out answer, but yeah, they're stronger.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Of course. Yeah, no, they're stronger. I get it. Because Rey's definitely stronger. She's gotten stronger every movie.
yeah.
Kylo, I mean, Ben or whatever, I don't know, he's kind of hard to tell. I feel like he's
He's hard to tell, and like honestly, I was watching the movie this time because like no bullshit. I knew this was gonna come up, but like just because of the way it is, like how she's a girl, and it's like, oh, girls are so like forced down our throats in these movies, and they're how people complain about that. Did you feel that way at all? Yeah, I didn't feel that way at all, but I was like, man, I was trying to be observant of it. Like the second time I saw it, I was like, is it really, is she like kind of a badass or whatever? But he like beats her every single time they fight.
Kylo?
Pretty much, dude. Like they're fighting on where those waves are hitting or whatever, and he has her like down on the ground and is about to like finish her off.
Yeah.
And then Leia like reaches out, I guess, and like distracts him, and then she's able to get the upper hand. But he was like about to finish her.
Yeah.
And he kind of beats her on the ridge whenever the thing splits in half.
And then number 7?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you didn't care. I was wondering if you had noticed that or heard someone say that or
Say what?
just that like the women thing, people.
Oh, the only thing that felt force-fed was the lesbian
kiss at the
pilots.
end,
Yeah.
Dude, what was really funny is when I saw the movie with Jordan is like that the ending scene is all about like everybody's back together, we're so happy that like, they make out, and he like whispers to me, he's like, and then they banged, and then like it shows like Chewbacca and the Maz Kanata, and he's like, and they exchange the medal, and he's like, and then they banged, and then it shows like Poe and Finn, and it's like, and then they banged, and it's like BB-8 and Rey, and it's like, and then they banged. It just kept getting like funnier and funnier because they just kept pairing two like things together. But yeah, anyway, yeah, that was like forced, honestly.
Yeah,
And, like every time I saw that movie with a decent crowd, everyone was just like, ugh. Like it was a combination of like ooh to like cheering, which I didn't feel either way.
I didn't feel either way. I was just like, nice.
It's like it's a little forced, but whatever.
Yeah, it was a little. But I mean, it doesn't bother me. It just bothers me that they have to do it. If that makes any sense.
It's less forced or whatever. Like, did you feel like it was forced in Endgame when there was like gay stuff in there? You don't even remember it, do you?
No.
It obviously wasn't forced.
What'd they do?
They're sitting around that circle, and the guy who's the
Circle
director,
jerky?
yes, and it was like that was what made it rated R actually. No, but the director is in that scene. He's an actor, and he's saying like, yeah, I went to dinner with this guy, and like it was my first date since like the snap or whatever, and like he just says it like that. It's way more like subtle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I feel at least. It just like I always knew it was coming because I was like, I've seen a lot of hugging and stuff going on here.
Yeah.
And I know they're gonna try to force that in there, and they did, but whatever.
It's whatever. Speaking of sex, why do I feel like Finn is like banging every random chick that they introduce? Every time they introduce a random chick, like Finn's gonna bang her.
Because he's black and cool.
Yeah, but like, don't they imply it, dude? I feel like in 7 they implied that Finn and Rey are a thing, but then like he's just always there for her and she's always there for him, but they're not a thing. And then it's like him and Rose are a thing, and now it's like him and this new black chick are a thing. And it's like
Short answer, he's black and cool. Long answer, it's one of the problems I have with this movie, which is like they clearly had no plan where anything was going, because they set up him to be with Rey in the first one, kind of. They kind of allude to it.
He doesn't have to be with anybody.
And then they set him up to be with the
Asian
girl,
Rose.
Yeah, and then they kind of set him up in this, and he gets with no one, and it's just like, why then,
Like, why set them up?
It was kind of cool that we got a Star Wars trilogy though that really didn't have like a love story.
Yeah, and that was fine. I wasn't asking for it, so I don't get why they keep implying it. Like, either do it or don't.
They had no plan for it. That's why, because they just didn't have a plan for it. Because it was JJ, then it was Ryan Johnson, and now it's JJ Abrams again. So it's like, There's clearly, and those people like hate each other. I don't know if you've ever seen, but like they do not like each other.
JJ and Ryan.
Yeah, they don't like each other at all. And it was like before these even happened. I'm like, why would you hire
Rivals.
Why would you hire rivals, even if they don't have to technically work together? Like, why would you want them to sort of build off of each other?
The same trilogy, yeah. It's
kind of weird, but I don't know.
It's Disney.
Yeah. Anyway, oh, by the way, like a lot of people had a problem. I thought it was funny. A lot of people had a problem with, like the Asian chick in the last movie. Like said she was like super annoying. And when I watched it the second time, I think it's like really funny that they're like, "Aren't you coming?" And she's like, "Oh no, I'm gonna be here. And like I'll keep watching this stuff." And it's like, "Fuck you, you're not coming with us." Like it just seems like it's like, no, don't worry, guys. Like we're not gonna make her a part of this movie. She has like 8 lines.
It did feel good. I was like, all right, sweet.
Whereas she was like a main character in the last one.
I mean, that is kind of wild that they do that.
Like,
but
I feel bad for that actress.
I
just,
feel
like,
really
show up to the set and like.
Hey,
like they do it twice. I think when they first, like, all 3 of them leave to go get the dagger.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, you coming with us?" And she's like, "No, I'll stay here and guard the ships or something." I wish it was that stupid, or I wish it was dumber. But it's something like, "I'm gonna stay and watch like the fleet, so I will be able to find them whenever you guys get them or whatever." And it's like, "Oh, okay, you stay here then." Yeah, and then later it's, "Hey, come with us. We're gonna go defuse the bomb or something." And she's like, "No. Like, I'll go make sure these people get off screen with me."
Yeah, it's like you just said. I feel bad for her because like she probably she had a big part in Last Jedi. She's probably expecting to have a big part in the next movie.
And she's probably a decent actress too.
Yeah,
it's just
whatever. But she hears all this press that nobody liked her.
She left Twitter because people just crapped all over her.
That sucks, dude. I really feel bad for her. But like, for sake of the movie, I did appreciate it more because I didn't like her, bro. I don't know. She was annoying.
But you didn't. I guess you noticed it then that she wasn't as big of because it was almost jarring when I saw her on the screen. I was like, "Oh, you're still a part of this world."
I was like, "Oh, you're still here, okay." And then she's
the
like,
lines they give her to are like, "No way, where's he going?" Or just like generic. They have no meat. They're just like, "The Emperor's back." What? And like it just goes to someone else talking.
There was a lot of that. I did notice that. Yeah, they had a few lines like that where I was like, "That was kind of awkward." Like I was like, "What?"
Yeah, it was pretty rough. Come closer to the microphone.
Why?
Come closer.
I am. I'm right here.
All right, good.
They can't hear my good hot takes.
Exactly. But what did you think about the Emperor in general?
Sucked.
Yeah.
No. So we were talking earlier about him being alive or whatever, like how he did it. I guess I wish they kind of explained it, but I mean, he was.
You were fine with it.
I was fine with it, but was he cloned or is it like his body being preserved? Is it like his original body or is it a clone?
I think it was his original body because of how messed up it was, and it kind of looked like to me he didn't have anything below the waist or even like below the chest. It kind of just looked like his robes were like
there.
They were just there, and he only had like arms and a messed up face. But again, I just wish they went into more. What did you think about the Snoke clones and then him controlling Snoke? Does that better?
Yes.
That betters it.
That makes it better for me. Okay. I'm okay with that because that's what I was gonna say. I was like I literally put fuzzy on him being alive, but I do appreciate that he's like been pulling the strings the whole time, just because it kind of saves them from having to do like a whole backstory for him since they killed him so quickly.
Yeah,
and it just seems way more efficient to be like, yeah, like he was a piece of shit. Like Palpatine was doing all of it. And to me, that kind of just adds more to Palpatine's greatness. And I would say that almost puts him in, like, greatest villain ever category.
Yeah, he's probably up there.
And I'd honestly, like, they always regard Darth Vader as the greatest villain. I'd say after this movie, Palpatine passes Darth Vader.
Wow, okay.
In terms of, like, villain greatness.
Like you put him up there with, like, Joker.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Yep.
Maybe that's it. Yeah,
that's
honestly.
it. Yep. Because... I don't know, just the fact that he was doing all that. Like, he was kind of controlling everybody. He was the voice in everyone's head. Dude, he's still running the Sith, like, building the army. Like, I don't know.
Badass laugh.
Yeah, badass laugh. It just felt right. It felt good. And, to me, it just added to his greatness. Because, I mean, they spent the whole prequels, like, building him up. Mm-hmm. Like, he was the low-key biggest part of the prequels.
I wish those movies were made better. Like, and they were just, honestly, like, 50% about him. That would be cool.
If they had a little bit more of him, a little bit better direction for Anakin, because Obi-Wan was good.
Yeah.
I know people didn't like Jar Jar, it's kind of whatever, but like, yeah, if they would have just done a little bit more there, with better job with Anakin, maybe
I
a
watched
little bit
1
more.
through 5, like in preparation.
Yeah,
I tried to watch them all before the movie, but I couldn't do it anymore.
How'd 1
honestly.
through 5 go?
They're all like 1 and 2 are awful. Like they're really hard to watch.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I thought the lightsaber battles in those movies were good. The first 3.
They are good, but dude, 2 is like the longest movie I've ever seen. It's
It
like
is.
3 Irishmen's back to back to back.
Have you watched that yet?
Irishmen? No.
Okay.
But I can just imagine.
It's
like
long.
3 Godfathers.
I haven't watched it. I watched an hour or something of it, and I fell asleep.
So you got through the credits?
I got through an hour of credits and fell asleep, and I wasn't even like comfortable. I just fell asleep.
You're standing straight up.
Yeah, no doubt.
No doubt.
But yeah, I felt like the prequels had really good lightsaber battles, and I felt like this movie did not have great lightsaber battles.
I would say no.
It's kinda
probably
lacking.
It didn't have a great one. It had like a pretty decent one where they were again in the water, on that bridge, and the water's going up and down, and like he's throwing this. He like throws a saber at her, and she like holds it with her hand, and like pushes it back, and then he does the same thing.
Yeah.
And I liked it when he took the sword like underhand and fought. I guess.
I don't care
backwards.
how you fight. Sorry, how do you fight that way? Like, I don't
know.
understand that.
But he made it happen.
He made it work. Yeah.
It didn't. No, but you're right. Like it probably has the weakest of any Star Wars movie in terms of lightsaber battle.
Aside from.
Oh, Episode 4. Yeah.
Well, okay, yeah, and I was gonna say Rogue One and Solo.
Yeah.
Rogue One's got the end scene with Darth Vader, but outside of that, there's really no lightsabers.
And there's not a lightsaber battle in The Last Jedi, technically. Like, not a lightsaber on lightsaber. They just fight all those dudes in that room. Which I wish that scene is so good. I wish we could get a whole movie of that, honestly.
Yeah, that'd be nice, and I don't get why they don't do more of it, but, so yeah. But I thought, like, this game, to me, had good battlefield, or good, Battlefront, like, type action. Like, the gun action and, like, the on foot stuff, like the action was good, and even the ship
That
stuff.
shot of that guy without even looking when it comes around
Yeah,
the corner.
yeah, just the way that people got killed by blaster and by ship, and like all of that stuff seemed really good and like better than it is in all the most of the other movies.
When Finn and Poe are going through that, they're just going through the First Order
Yeah.
in the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets shot, which is nice because I feel like I was getting to the point of like, is anyone going to hit these guys? They see him coming. How do they not hit him? And they finally hit him. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, all of that was great, honestly. Better than it is in most movies for Star Wars. But to me, the lightsabers were lacking. But still had some decent stuff. But
What do you think about Leia in this movie?
I mean, Carrie Fisher was dead, so like,
Did it bother? Did it seem like it was forced in this movie?
no, I was blown away with how they were actually able to make it work and like be pretty efficient with her, considering the actress literally was not alive.
Yeah, they just took the. Do you know what they did?
They CGI'd her face.
No, they just took her. They took unused scenes from The Force Awakens, and they basically like copied and pasted, like Photoshop, like copy and pasted her out, and took her and put her in this movie, and like had basically the other characters talk around what she says, so it fits.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah,
What did you think of that?
I thought it was pretty good, honestly. And of the people I saw it with, they were all like, "Wow, I can't believe they filmed this stuff 3 years ago or whatever." Or like because they thought that she had filmed these scenes, and not, she was actually preparing for this movie, I guess, or filming this movie, and not just they worked around it basically. And I was like, well, they did a pretty good job because you really can't. I mean, they didn't. No one could tell.
I couldn't tell. Yeah.
But I mean, she doesn't have a huge part in the movie, which
Of course.
is kind of a bummer because I feel like she probably was supposed to have a big part of the movie because she was like Rey's trainer or master or whatever.
Yeah.
She was probably supposed to have a bigger part in the movie, but she was fine in it. Really dug the scene when he gives her the lightsaber and they go back to showing her like training with Luke, and they do they do the CGI face there, but they only do it for like 1 second. So I'm like, okay, thanks. Like that's I don't need any more than that.
Yeah.
because I
It's
still don't
rough.
think it's great.
It's
honestly.
not it's not good.
But that scene is awesome. I love just watching I like how she trained and actually was like a badass at one point.
That was nice. I thought that was good backstory of them to do that. Yeah, it's a good movie.
It is a good movie. What else do I gotta say?
Let's see. So
Lando. What do you think about Lando?
I felt that it was
he
good.
hilarious to you?
Yeah, he was.
I could
yeah.
tell, yeah.
He was hilarious to me. It was nice to have him back for nostalgia. It didn't feel that forced. It felt kind of just like they're like, yeah, he's back. Yeah, you guys liked him in Solo, and let's give the old guy. The old guy was there first. He made it a thing. So like, give some screen time. I just felt that they were like, hey, say a generic Star Wars line and then do a generic black guy laugh, because all of his lines were like, the blasters are full, Chewy old pal.
We've only got this guy for one day on set.
Yeah,
so,
they're just like,
don't even learn your lines.
Yeah,
just do
he
what
had
says.
the same hair and makeup and the same outfit in every scene, and they're like, "What do you think?" And he's like, "Tell Leia I love her."
Well, he wears what, like obviously different size, but it's the same thing that what's his name wears in Solo.
Donald Glover.
Yeah, like the same outfit he wears in this movie, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, good. That's what I'm saying. I appreciate that, but I just felt like I was definitely laughing at his stuff because it just felt, just felt generic. They're just like, hey, just give us a black guy laugh. You don't have to say anything funny, but just laugh.
What do you think about all the new characters?
Well, what do you think about Lando?
Oh yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, like, I'm glad they didn't overdo it. Honestly, like, I'm kind of. Well, I don't know when you want to talk about it, but I'm really ready for them to get onto something new or something different. And I kind of, like, coming out of this movie, I'm kind of pissed off that we wasted this cast on. It was wasted sounds like I hated it, but we wasted like this really good cast of characters,
like
Rey and Kylo Ren and
Finn
and Poe even, and the Asian chick we all love.
Like they could have been their own story without Skywalker.
Yeah, they didn't need it. They didn't need that to carry it. Like, I liked these characters, and I really like these characters after these 3 movies.
Mm-hmm.
And like I feel like it's barely that tied to the old stuff anyway, in terms of just because they have, obviously, like, Han Solo, Han Solo and Leia and Luke are all in this movie.
Which is ridiculous.
So
I was blown away by that.
That Han Solo was back?
Yeah.
Because he hates Star Wars.
Does he?
Yeah, he hates it. Like,
Harrison Ford hates it.
well, like, he doesn't hate it, but he's like,
He's done.
He's so tired of hearing about it because people are just like, oh, what do you think about Star Wars? Like, Star Wars. It's like, yeah, dude, I was in that movie and it was fun, but that was like 40 years ago.
I heard he was getting fucked up back then. Well, didn't it? Didn't you tell me that? Like during Empire or something, he was like hammered or something.
Well, I know he's really
he's
into
like
the
snorting
ganja.
blow.
He's
yeah,
like really into the ganja now.
Well,
so I can't imagine what he was then.
Yeah, he's
when
probably
he was in his prime. He probably could have like any girl ever.
He's probably doing
like,
blow.
Yeah.
He's probably doing blow off tits. That's what they all do.
Yeah, man, I gotta be an actor one day. But yeah, like I feel like they really could have just not had any tether. Like, it could have just been its own story.
Yeah.
It kind of stinks that we had to still be, but everyone wanted that. We all wanted that when 7 came out. We all wanted, a continuation of the story. I just think that I'm really ready for them to move on to something else, because we have to have Rogue One, which takes place between 3 and 4,
right?
And then we have to have Solo, which takes place between 3 and 4, and it's like we can't ever get past 4, 5, 6.
Yeah. And I feel like like the way they kind of tied things up in this movie, they could have just like you and your point of going on to a different storyline, they could have like done that in 7. They could have paid homage to the old school stuff with like the quick shout outs, and they just like tied it up and like been done with it in 7 and moved on with a different storyline, like wrapped up that plot or whatever. They could have wrapped up the plot the same way, but like had it go a different direction once that movie was done.
And honestly, it would have been cool if they said it like 1,000 years before these movies, and the Emperor's still the bad guy, and they just make it to where like, yeah, this dude's like, he's of a different level. Like, you kill him, and he just takes another person's body over.
Or they could have made Snoke, is that his name?
Yeah.
They could have made him work by giving him like a true like backstory and like putting him in a different era, and he's his own person. He's not like Palpatine's puppet or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's a lot they could have done. They didn't do it. And this trilogy, I think, worked out in the end, but I don't know. Yeah, to me, there was a lot of wasted potential. I really liked Rey and Finn and Poe. I thought in this movie, though, Finn and Poe were a little cheesy at times, especially in the beginning. I feel like the first 30 minutes were very cheesy, and then it got better. Like, it was like they were like going for really cheap humor not that it was like lowbrow, but it was just like super.
The chess table? Was that what you're talking about? Or like,
Yeah,
was
that
that too
was
far in the beginning? After
no, that was that was part of it. That part was probably the most tolerable, though. I'm trying to think, but like I don't know, Poe and Finn, the underestimated droid shit, like that was stupid. But then like by the middle and end of the movie, it was definitely like way funnier. Like I was legit laughing, like I was like haha laughing, not jokingly laughing. Because I really liked the little dude that like
Baba Freak?
Baba, whatever. That rewired C-3PO.
Yeah, dude, C-3PO was actually really good in this movie, honestly.
I'm a little pissed about him.
Really? Because they wiped his memory and then they brought it back immediately?
No. Two things. Why would they make it a protocol that he can't speak Sith? Why would they ever do that? If they're the enemy, wouldn't they want to translate their enemy's messages? That seems like the most important language to have.
But if no one can speak it or hear it, then maybe people couldn't join it, because they wouldn't understand what it meant.
But why would he not be able to speak it?
Because if he's basically your Google Translate. So if you can't translate it, then you don't know what it says, then you can't really follow it.
He translates it.
Yeah. He knows it, but he won't tell you it.
Why?
So that other people don't know.
That's stupid.
Okay.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I really don't.
Like, he won't tell... If you wanted to know what it said, he won't tell you what it knows. And if you don't know what it says, then you won't, become a Sith loyalist because you don't know what they're even saying or doing.
I guess. But, and also, okay...
I mean, it is kind of dumb because, if they don't get him to translate it, then they can't really figure out what they're doing.
Right.
I mean, I think it kind of makes sense and it doesn't.
But he says he's programmed to not speak it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
think it makes sense and I think it works and it doesn't work. I think it works because if he doesn't speak it, then other people can't have it translated for them. So they'd have to find someone else who knows it basically.
Okay, what's to stop them from doing that?
Nothing. But then they don't know it immediately. It's kind of like...
Yeah, I think I better understand what you're trying to say. And then my other problem, though, is the fact that the Sith have their own language. We've never heard about this until now, right? I know they have their own texts. I get that they might have their own religion and they might have their own literature like the Jedi do. But their own language?
Yeah.
Never heard of that before.
And
if
it's dumb, or are you just mad because you don't hear about it? I haven't heard about it yet.
I think I'm a little I'm mad at that situation that they had their own language that they had to translate. And it's like, okay, since when did they have their own language? We've never heard about it in a previous movie, and now it's a convenient plot point like the fuel was in the 8th movie that they all of a sudden have a secret language. Because if they have a secret language, why have they never spoken in it? Why have we never seen a conversation with Palpatine and Vader speaking Sith? Like, you know what I mean? It's just like it's kind of bullshit, is what I'm saying. It doesn't ruin the movie for me. I just thought, I'm like, okay, they have a language now. And then also the stupid Wayfinder thing. It's like, felt like National Treasure. They have to like find a clue to find a clue to find the map to the secret world. It just felt very like National Treasure and Pirates of the Caribbean-esque, and it just wasn't very like...
What do you want the plot to be?
No, they couldn't do it better. I have no solution.
But I'm just like, I'm not even attacking you. I'm just wondering, like, there are only so many plots. Like, they're all going to be, they're all going to be comparable to something.
Right.
I kind of appreciated that it wasn't, it wasn't like outright. We're just going to go and blow up this. Like, we're just going to go blow up the Sith, I guess, or the bad guys.
Yeah.
Like, we had to find out where they were, and we had to, like, go after these things. I agree it's weird for Star Wars, but I'd rather... I don't know. I guess I'll take it being a new kind of direction to take it than the dumb... To me, the dagger thing was kind of stupid.
I guess I didn't like... I mean, it was all... the dagger was kind of out there, but...
Because how do they make that dagger to where it fits perfectly around those rocks?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. That doesn't make any sense. And
because
then,
that dagger was... Well, I guess that dagger was made after Return of the Jedi. But still, that's like, why would you make it like that? It would make more sense if you, like, had to, like, it lit up the direction you're supposed to go or something,
Yeah. Well, in the secret planet, who found it to begin with? Who's going out there?
Exegol?
Yeah. And then,
the Sith
like...
world?
it's the Sith world, okay?
Yeah.
And then why are they leaving directions for it?
I don't know.
Wouldn't they
can't
just
answer that.
yeah, they're like, hey, we're just gonna randomly leave 2 cubes, fuck it, and then I'll like tell you how to get here. There's gonna be a dagger.
Well, wouldn't you want other Sith or other people of the dark side to find your planet?
Just tell them they're the Sith.
How are you gonna tell them in your secret language?
Yeah, send them a little transmit, a little Sith. No one's gonna translate it apparently. Just send them a little SOS. Hey, what's up, bud? Reporting live from Mexico. Here's the coordinates, fam. Put it in your Google Maps. I don't know. That just seemed a little out there.
Yeah, the movie's plot is not strong
Yeah.
because
But I liked it, and I liked the execution of it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there was
just
a
don't
lot.
think about it too much.
Just
You start thinking about it, it's like, this is kind of weak stuff.
It's kinda weak,
Like, how did he build 10,000 starships?
Yeah. And,
How do they all have the power of the Death Star?
that's whatever.
You're fine with that?
That's fine.
Yeah, okay.
I could see that. Because, I mean, if they're going to be the biggest thing, they have to be, they have to be the biggest thing. They have to keep upgrading. So, yeah, each ship being a planet killer, I guess that's, like, the next best thing. It's better than having one station that does it.
I would like in the next series of movies for them to have something that's different, but also powerful, like a teleporter or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just something that is, not just a planet killer.
Well, and also, I think that's where Mandalorian could benefit. I haven't seen the most recent episodes, so it might be getting better. I'm only 3 episodes in, but I feel like them being on a smaller scale is where they could benefit. The fact that he's just a bounty hunter and it's just kind of like one-on-one, mano-a-mano type stuff, not like worlds being destroyed.
Yeah.
I feel like that smaller scale is where it could really benefit, but we'll see if it gets there. And I think that maybe for future movies, maybe they'll do something like that. It'll be more like small scale, maybe like planet acquisition versus like galaxy acquisition. Like, they're like fighting on the ground and shit. We don't have to like blow up entire worlds.
Let's just hope they don't go over the overpopulation route.
I'd put up with it. Just so I could roast it.
Just in every movie.
Every movie.
Across all franchises. And what I was saying is like, I feel like they added a lot of characters in this movie.
Yeah.
And
but they got rid of characters like Rose and
they did.
Leia and
It's true. And
Luke
for the most part.
Solo.
But I don't know if they really added that much. The characters they added. I liked the chick that was like a bounty hunter.
Yeah, I liked her.
She was badass.
And did you like what's his name, Boba Freck or whatever?
Yeah, he was cool.
He was hilarious.
I don't really get the point of the cone droid. I think that was like kind of, why was that in there?
I don't know, but he was cute. He was funny. He's a toy.
Like I wasn't bothered by any of them. I was just sort
He
of.
reminded me of the Pixar logo.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's exactly what he looks like. Yeah, I picture that one.
Yeah.
Gotta sell those toys.
Yes, yeah, that's what it's what everything's about.
And then, did you realize that Finn was like a Force user? Did you pick up on that?
Yeah, I did want to talk about that. Do you have stuff to say about it?
I don't know. Do you think it was too heavy-handed? They didn't clearly state it for you. Were you fine with it?
I liked it because. Sorry, I'm looking for it in my notes here.
Taking notes. We'll use this opportunity to thank our sponsors.
Okay, so I guess okay, so I like the fact that everyone has a little bit of the Force, just because it just makes it better, and I guess it kind of just gives you that level of character. Like I almost thought about it like on a video game standpoint. Like I thought about it on like Battlefront. Like you could like select to be a hero, you could select to be Finn. He's going to have a little bit of force power. He's going to use the gun really well. He's going to fly. He's going to be crafty. But then you got someone who like Rey, who's like just way better.
A badass.
Like, yeah, it's like a double kill streak type thing. Like, I do appreciate that everyone has something to bring to the table. And if they're saying that the Force is like a feeling and it's just all life, and it's like,
why wouldn't everyone have a little bit?
Right. And so, and then like and then I thought about it like Dragon Ball Z. You're just gonna have some people that have higher power levels than others. You're gonna have LeBron James of the Force. You're gonna have your guys like me who commentate on the Force. Who just commentate basketball, can't play it, but like we all bring something to the table.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that. I think it's good, and it just made it better because he's like, yeah, like fuck, it just
I
made him.
get it, you
It
know?
made him more useful too.
Yeah.
And it's organic, like it's an organic way to use him and make him more important, because he doesn't really do shit. So the fact that he was doing shit just made it better.
And it's always hard for me to like characters better. Like when there's one that has like the Force and is clearly the badass. How do I care about the other ones?
Right. And I feel like are you saying that they did that?
Yeah,
they made you care. They did a
did
good
a
job.
pretty decent job.
And I feel like Poe has the Force in his own way. Like he was confused about like Finn using the Force a little bit, but Poe is like an amazing pilot, and he can just see everything in real time and like a lot
Hot
of
wire stuff.
Yeah.
He's like the Vin Diesel of the Star Wars.
right.
It's all about family.
But I did feel they were
And Corona.
cheesy as fuck in the beginning of the movie. And then they had a lot of shots of like Rey's eyes. I feel like in the last 2 movies, we're just getting a lot of face shots of Rey, like just an overwhelming amount. Not that she has a bad face. I think she's hot. It's great.
She definitely is.
Do her a favor. I love her, but I just feel like we're always looking at her face. Like she's always having like this inner reflection, and we're always like, she's especially during her flashbacks, her family trying to find out her origin. She's always like going down like a creepy hallway and like she got attacked by herself, she like in episode 8 she had that hallway of like mirrors of herself, like I just feel like there's a lot of that. I don't
think about the dark Rey, the lightsaber.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it's pretty dope.
Did you want more out of that, or was that enough?
No, it was okay. I don't know what more would they have done. Just a longer fight.
Longer scene.
Yeah, but then they're just doing that to like stroke you, so it's like I don't know. I guess I would appreciate it, but it's got to be done tastefully. If they're not like,
you want a tasteful stroking.
well, because it's fake, so it's like, you're just gonna show me a 5-minute battle that I know is fake.
It doesn't matter,
right?
in the long run,
right. That's where that's what I'm saying. That's where it would get kind of weird. Like you do it too much, you're kind of like, dude, we know this is pointless. But if you do it a little bit longer, you're like, bro, it's pretty cool. So it's it's a fine line.
When did you know she was Palpatine?
As soon as she did the lightning out of her hands.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I did not. I still... Well...
I
thought they were trying to throw me off.
Right.
Like, I got my own head, I was
Yeah.
like, no, dude, they're going to be like, she's Obi-Wan's kid or something.
As soon as she did the lightning out of her hand and shit, I, like, looked over...
that was epic. I like that scene.
Yeah, it was dope. That was a great scene. And so I was like... As soon as I was like, I bet... I looked over and I was like, she's either the daughter of Palpatine or she's related to him in some way.
I thought she was a clone, honestly.
And my mom looked at me and she goes, who would have sex with Palpatine? And I was like, good point. But I was like, I'm still guessing that they're related. I was like, he can fuck whoever. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, he can create a baby. Like, they're related. And then sure enough, she was.
I mean, he was a senator, so, he probably had some money,
That's what I was thinking. He, like, banged somebody back in the day. They had kids, obviously. Boom.
When would he have had, let's see, she was probably born right after Return of the Jedi, so her father must have been born. So, like, he must have been banging somebody in, like, episode 1 or episode 2, and that was her father.
Perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, and he looks alright in those movies. He wasn't, like, a disgusting monster like he was at the end of episode 3 forward,
Exactly. So, yeah, as soon as the lightning came out of her hand, I was like, yep, that's it. Because he's the only one we've ever really seen do that. Yoda did it a little bit, but I just figured there's a better chance she's related to...
Doku.
That's true. Did he do it?
Yeah. He shoots at a Yoda. And then he shoots at an Anakin.
Oh, well. Got lucky, I guess.
Were you fine with her being a Palpatine? As opposed to no one?
Yeah, I liked it. What did you think
odd?
about it?
I thought it was good.
When did you figure it out?
I didn't figure it out until they told me, because I still thought she was going to be the clone. I didn't think she was going to be granddaughter.
Okay.
So I honestly, I can't say I called it anywhere. I honestly figured it out as soon as they told me.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff in this movie where they clearly went back on decisions they made in episode 8.
Well, like you said, the directors...
Yeah, but I mean, did that suck for you? Like, did you notice?
Like what?
If I didn't tell you that, would you have ever known that,
No.
episode 8 and 9, like, they clearly didn't like where it was going?
Well, yeah, I thought we had already talked about that before the movie ever came out.
But I mean, if I hadn't told you that, like, would you have ever felt that way? Because in one movie they're saying,
that's
she's
so
nobody.
hard.
She's saying, like, they're saying she's no one, and Luke doesn't, he doesn't want to be a Jedi anymore, and what are other decisions they made? Snoke is no one.
Yeah. Okay. So you're talking about where Luke was like, I was wrong. Like in this movie where he was like,
wait, dude, I'm just kidding. I wish he would have just been stupider about it. Like, yo, like I was tripping. Like he just talks exactly like that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Me. That one's on me.
I don't know. It's so hard to say. I feel like I would have, but at the same time, I don't read or research anything, so I could have been pretty stupid and been like, oh, they were saving it. Like, she's a Palpatine. She's not a nobody.
Stupid.
It's stupid. So, I mean, how do you feel about all that?
It's kind of my problem with the movie is...
The fact that they didn't have a clear sense of direction from the beginning.
Dude, because...
Why did J.J. Abrams not direct the 8th movie?
Excellent question. We'll get to it in a minute. The thing with, like... The thing with me is, you know, if you were to show someone these movies and like they've seen 4, 5, 6, so they know everything up until now, you could just show them 7 and 9.
Right.
There's no point in watching 8. What do you gain from watching 8? Nothing. There's literally nothing that's achieved. I'd be like, hey, yeah, Luke died. Like, you know, there's no like everything they do in that movie is like pointless. So it's
because they backtrack on it in 9.
It kind of makes the trilogy seem
incomplete.
You know, weird because. One of the movies it is like a side quest. It's not even like the main... It feels like it's just an adventure, but it has nothing to do with the main story. Because the Force Awakens... And
well,
this
I mean,
movie,
you have Snoke, too.
Right, but...
Dying.
I mean, but he doesn't mean anything. He's just Palpatine.
I know.
And you get told that in the first 5 minutes of this movie.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, like, literally... I guess there's a step back. I'm not saying literally you could not watch 8 and understand everything, but I'm just saying 8 doesn't really mean anything. You know, it kind of makes me not like 8 because I'm like, why? You know, none of this matters.
Yeah.
Like Snoke dies, who cares? He's a clone, and he's, you know, Palpatine's pawn. And you know, Luke dies, but who cares? He basically does everything we wanted, or everything he needed to do anyway. You know.
So it's good then.
Exactly. So like, what does 8 matter?
It matters
because the fuel. Like, is that what we missed?
Yeah.
The fuel. Of course.
Afghanistan. I don't know.
Yeah, JJ didn't direct it because usually I think people are trying to get away from like directors doing 3 movies in a row of the same franchise because they kind of get burnt out. Like you see it even with Christopher Nolan. Like he did the 3rd Batman movie, which I really like, but you know, there's like a couple of... It's not as good. It's not as...
Yeah.
You know, he gets like burnt out on it. I'm trying to think of just, you know, and George Lucas, he did 3 of those and
3 more.
And they did the original 4, 5, and 6 were George Lucas, and then I don't remember the 2 other guys, but you know, they had 3 different directors, and the vision is like, you know, the same throughout, and everybody has a fresh take, and it's fresh, and you know, it makes sense. I think that's what they were going for, and they could, you know. Because it's, you know, we're just doing Star Wars again, and we're doing a Star Wars trilogy. Why wouldn't we do a different director every time?
And they generally do that for Bond. They generally mix up directors. Directors have repeated, I'm sure, especially more probably back in the day. But for the most part, they mix it up.
I have a problem with it. I just, you know, you have to have someone who's like, yeah, we're
the studio has to have the game plan to give to the director, and then the director puts their spin on it and gives it off to everybody else, and so on.
And I'm not clever enough to think of new ideas and epic things and appeal to, you know, enough people to make
the
money.
fan bases, yeah,
and like
toys.
Star Wars has so many fans, you know, that are old and new, and like we have to appeal to all these people. Like, so I'm not smart enough to do that, but it just seems kind of annoying to me that you can have 22 Marvel movies. And they all connect and make sense, and they don't contradict each other, and they all have like epic team ups, and you know, it spans, you know, 10, 11 years.
Yep.
But then you come across, you know, 3 Star Wars movies, and we can't get across 6 years to get them to connect to each other. When they're just there's no like, you know, there's no spin-offs that are connected to it, or tie-ins, or this is about one character, and then they'll have a team up movie. It's just chapter 1, 2, and 3, and they can't connect. It's like, why? And they're owned by the same company. I'm like, why? You know, are you using all your assets there?
I think it's just bad luck.
You just think it's bad luck?
What else would it be? I mean, the way you've explained it, it's just like they had all the tools there. They've done it before. Like, everything's in place. The cast is good. You know, the characters are likable. And it just kind of fucked up the story a little bit.
I'm just kind of pissed off at it because I wish they would have just... I wish someone would have been like, yo, this is what we're doing. and we're not, if people don't like it, that's fine, but just we can't contradict everything, in the next movie.
Yeah. And I don't know, but I guess that's the only thing I did like about this movie is like, I didn't really care for 8, so like they're just like, hey, all this shit that you didn't like,
we're not doing it.
We're not doing it.
Remember the Asian chick? Yeah, me neither.
Me neither.
Like,
yeah,
remember in this movie.
And they like breezed over it like super quick. They just like, yep, this is what we're doing, and I'm like, all right, cool. Like, thanks, man.
They're like, yeah, I've been controlling Snoke the whole time. Like, no, don't worry about it.
It was efficient. And I was like, okay. Like the first, honestly, 30 minutes of this movie were to me kind of rough, just because they did a lot. I don't know if they had to do it. They did all
the first like 10, honestly, or 5.
Why?
Whatever's with Kylo Ren, I love that part. I love it.
What did he do?
He like goes into the field and kills all these guys.
Oh yeah,
and
that was pretty funny. His face.
Yeah, I
have a problem with Adam Driver's face.
Honestly, like this movie, he had like some of the worst
face shots.
Yeah, but yeah. I still really like him as the character. Sue me.
Yeah.
But I get what you mean.
Yeah, his face is rough, but
I mean, if it was rough, this is definitely the movie that it's the worst in.
How'd you feel about like the picture quality? Like I don't know if I saw it on like a bad screen, but like some of it just didn't look good. Some of the CGI, maybe some of the backgrounds, or some of the lightsabers. Like his lightsaber looked kind of shitty at one point. Kylo's.
I honestly can't say.
Well, then I had a bad screen. I don't know. There was just a few times where I was looking and I was like, this doesn't look that good, but oh well. And then let's talk about.
Thanks.
I already talked about Palp and C-3PO. Okay, so Ben and Leia, Ben, Kylo, whatever you want to call him, like them dying. She like distract him whenever he was fighting Rey. Rey stabs him in a way that would normally kill somebody, like based on what we've seen in Star Wars in the past. That was a pretty fatal blow that Rey delivered to Kylo, and because Leia distracted him. And then like obviously Rey heals him and he stays alive. Leia dies, but she doesn't turn into a ghost. Right. Like her sheet is still full. And then Kylo, Ben, whatever, he like basically falls off the cliff, I guess fucks up his leg. We don't know the severity of his fall, but he looks pretty fucked up. He like climbs back up and he basically, I guess, saves Rey with the same type of power.
Mm-hmm.
And it like kills him.
Yeah.
And then he immediately turns into a ghost, and then Leia's sheet immediately falls. So was she still like alive in some way, and she was like keeping him alive because he was really dead, and he was so dead that Rey like really couldn't save him. It was like their combined power like keeping him alive. And whenever he like sacrificed himself for Rey, like him and Leia like floated off in the Force and like turned into ghosts. Like what was up with that? Like I feel like there's something implied there. Like why would her sheet not instantly turn into a ghost if he instantly turned into...
I think they honestly just did it for the imagery of like her and her son passed at the same time.
Right. So she wasn't dead yet then.
She probably wasn't like dead, but she was probably barely hanging on and
like in a coma, not coming out of it.
In a coma, basically, yeah. I don't.
But
think
she came out. She got because she got fucked up in Last Jedi, and they like she came out of that.
Yeah, and I hated the way that looked, and I liked the.
She should have been dead in that. They should have just. I feel like they should have ended it there. I don't know.
I like her training Rey, but I mean,
yeah.
I also like that in the idea of that we could have actually Carrie Fisher play the character and not use these footage or anything.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't like the way it looked when it actually happened. Is what I'm saying. Like I hate the stupid hand pull thing. I hate that scene.
Hand pull?
Like she like reaches her hand out and like pulls back to the ship or whatever, and it looks really stupid.
Who does that?
Leia.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I wish there was a good answer there, but I think it's honestly they just did it for like how cool it would look for them to both pass at the same time. I would like to say that she was helping him or something, but I don't think that's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Well, we're at the end. Like, there's a lot of like big moments there at the end. When Palpatine shoots the lightning into the sky and it's like freaking like
that was pretty epic,
dude. That was so epic, dude. I love the sound effect of that because it goes like dead quiet, and then it just like all the bass in the world hits, and he just shoots it up and just wrecks everyone. Dude, I was like, yes, dude, he's such a monster, and he's laughing too. I'm like, yes, this is awesome.
That was nice. Yeah, I loved it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I thought I think you.
You're always asking me questions. Why don't you say what you think about it?
Because I usually interrupt you after I ask you a question. That's how it goes. That's how my mind works. I want to get him talking, and then I'm going to interrupt him.
Let's see. I don't even know. What was the question? But yeah.
Nothing. I was just like, yeah, the lightning's cool at the end. Did you think that was like too much? Or?
No, I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
The only thing that was weird was like Poe is like, "What's happening?" Like, they're like, dude, is your ship working? Mine's not working.
Dude,
it's
like,
like, yeah, they're like, dude, where's my car? Like, they're all just like kind of acting like they're not in a massive like
battle,
fucking lightning
and they're going
storm.
after the Emperor.
Well, yeah, and they don't realize they're in like a huge like frozen lightning storm with his powers. Like, they're just like, dude, my systems are down. Like, is your Google Maps working? Like, I don't know. It just that part seemed. I laughed at that. That part. That was funny.
What about her like talking to the space and all the Jedi voices? That part was up for me.
What do you mean?
She like looks up. It's a good shot of her eyes.
Be with me.
Yeah. Be with me.
Yeah.
And it's like Qui-Gon.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Anakin's in there.
Yeah. Yoda, of course.
And Luke, and I think both the old Obi-Wan Kenobi and the new one.
Yeah. No, I appreciated it. I thought it was good. I think all the homage moments were good. In the old pilots and the old X-wings were good as well. But I get it, but that's another scene that I was talking about with the eyes and like to be with me. Like they always have like a new like catchphrase. Like the force, I'm the one with the force is with me. May the force be with you. The force is with you always. And now it's be with me. And
what do you want it to be?
It's
nothing.
No, it's
just say nothing.
I don't know. Just pick one. I was perfectly fine with "May the Force be with you," and also with you. Like if you want to make it like Catholic or whatever it is that they're going for. Like it's just the fact that it's different every movie is just kind of annoying. They're like, hey, let's get a new one. And I think that goes to the thing with the toys. Like they have to have the new toys. Like that new droid, I guarantee you is going to be a toy. But I liked him. He was cute, and I liked Boba Fett and all that. So I don't know. And I went to the bathroom during them like planning. I guess they were like planning the final battle, and they're like, "Yeah, we're just gonna have to hit him with everything we got." And I like heard them say that as I walked out of the theater. And when I came back in the theater, they were like still saying that.
I don't like that part.
And I like sat down and my mom was like, "You didn't miss anything." They literally just said,
just hyping everybody up.
Yeah,
like, yeah, we got this.
Yeah, she's like, they literally just said they got to hit him with everything they got. I was like,
that was a scene where like he's like, we got to hit him with everything we got, and it goes to like Rose's character, just like, and then he goes back to talking. Like it's so funny.
They're like, we're gonna put her in there because we're paying her, but we're gonna make sure we get her off ASAP.
Like I'm pretty sure the girl that was a lesbian had more lines than she did, or more words were said.
Well, she's more progressive.
That's true. But yeah.
God, dude, there was something else that we were talking about, like with the lightning and like her doing the lightning. I just thought that scene was like super tense whenever it's like her and Kylo are like fighting over the ship. Like there's a pretty decent little battle going on. And then like she unleashes her power and blows up the ship and she thinks she kills Chewie.
Yeah.
I thought that was wild. I don't know. It's just not something that they do very often, where they kill a character so important and just kind of crazy like that. And then obviously he didn't die, which I was kind of happy about, because if he would have died, he's a lovable character. He doesn't talk, so
you really
like
don't want him to die.
Yeah,
who could want him to die, basically?
I don't want him to die. Yeah, because he doesn't talk. He's normally comic relief, and honestly, I do like it when he gets in the action because I love his little like bowcaster thing, and he's like running through the battle and he just fucking blasts people. Yeah, so I like having him out there. So I thought that scene was great. And then the other, like General Hux, I loved that. I love what they killed
him so soon.
Well, I love the fact that he was the mole. I thought that was interesting. And then like his reasoning for being the mole, he's like, I don't care about helping you. Like just fuck Kylo Ren. And I was like, dude, nice, dude.
That is a cool reason. Actually.
And then they're like, so what? He's like, shoot me. I like that. That's in John Wick, and other movies where he's like, hey, shoot me. It's got to look real. So they shoot him. And
The guy sees right through it.
yeah, dude, I love that. And
That
he
is like something out of a mafia movie.
yeah,
honestly.
he
Like,
sees right through it and immediately does the honor himself of blasting the shit out of him. And it's pretty brutal.
he
I love
flies across the ground.
I loved all of that. Loved that. So I liked the way they handled death in this movie.
Excellent. Dang, what else did we not? Anything else we didn't touch on?
Just again, they always come up with. I know it's like I said, they come up with new catchphrases. They always come up with new force tricks too. I feel like they expanded on the tricks of them being in the same room, and then like the light speed skipping.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, where does it end? And then like they're like, "Yo, we gotta make sure we upload the converters," and it's like the ship talk. Oh, we gotta fix that backdrop. We gotta fix the Johnson rod. And it's like, and I'm like breaking down these words, and I'm like, converter, like, what are they converting? And like you have to fill up the converter, fill it. It's just like some of the. I was like trying to put it together, and it'll drive you nuts trying to do that. But I find it funny, and I felt like Poe and Fenn were doing that the most, and they were super cheesy about it. He goes, "Oh yeah, no, they wouldn't go that way. They're gonna play at their phasers north, and like like the command deck, the nav systems and the lead ship. It's that's the other thing too is like." They're in the middle of the fucking sky. They're all in the same area. And they're like, yeah, we got to shut down their nav system or whatever. And it's like, who gives a fuck? Like, we're all on top of each other. Like, how does one ship not having a nav system fuck up the other ships? You can all just look.
Anywhere.
You sure?
They couldn't go anywhere.
That better be the case.
No, that's
okay.
They don't want them to leave.
Okay.
They never they don't want to destroy them necessarily, but they don't want them to leave the world.
I mean, but why would they be trying to leave? They're the bigger fleet. Ideally,
to go wreck all the planets.
But
then they destroy them anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, too. I like how they have all their ships, and they're not doing anything. But all of a sudden, a bunch of scrapper ships show up, and all of a sudden, they're like, yeah, okay, we have to fire at the cannons now. We weren't doing that before. Like, let's take out these ships,
I got an idea. These things are killing us.
Yeah.
We kill them. They can't kill us.
I like that, Poe, that's why you're commander.
Then 2 seconds later, dude, why is my shit down? What's the deal? We're getting hit with lightning? What's the deal?
What, dude? Did anybody check the weather? And then Rose is like, no weather app available, sir. And then like hangs up, and then that's her life.
Okay. Like, no.
They didn't say rebel scum enough. They had hope and rebellion in there quite a bit, but they only said scum like once, and they're like, "No, you scum!" And it was like kind of funny, but I definitely wanted rebel scum.
They had rebellion in there.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah, they had rebellion. Yeah, it was hot. A lot of hope. Hope at the end. Yeah, no fuel. Loved that. I just see that's the other thing that like I could tell that's would have been my way of telling. Like, how you said, would you have been able to tell that they backtracked on a lot of things and that they, like, changed direction? The fuel was the most obvious to me of them changing direction. And I'm honestly kind of mad that Jordan doesn't get where I'm coming from on that because they've made 11 movies and 9 of them don't talk about fuel.
Yeah.
And like...
Why would they talk about fuel
right,
all of a sudden?
Right. Why is it a major plot point?
Yeah. I got you. What do you think about Luke returning? Catching the lightsaber. He says, like...
He caught the lightsaber?
Yeah, she throws it into the fire, and he catches it as a Force ghost, and it's like...
You know what?
I'd take more care of a Jedi's weapon or something.
I like that. I wasn't a huge fan of him, and I guess, again, maybe it's part of the backtracking between 8 and 9, but I wasn't a fan of him saying, like, oh, I was wrong. Like, being on this deserted island and being a jackass is not good.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like it took you that long to put that together. Like, it's just his change of heart in that movie and then continued in this movie. It just almost doesn't make sense because he was such a hard ass about it, and now he's just flipped, just like that. I mean, something that took him 30 years in the making to decide about, he's just flipped on in like less than a year in like whatever world in their time, whatever. I don't know. That's the only problem I had. Is like how quickly his motivations have swung, and now like he wouldn't even talk to her, and now he's like, oh, like I love you, like I'm gonna teach you everything and tell you everything. Like I don't know, just that kind of shit. Like It's real wishy-washy. I feel like they didn't commit.
Yeah, I agree. I liked when he took the X-Wing out of the water. That was super awesome.
That was dope.
But he made the stupidest face I've ever. It looked like he was literally wetting himself. I'm not kidding. I'm not even looking for that. But like, I hate the way he like they have like a wide shot of him just standing there, and he's like, oh, like it just looks really weird.
Hey, it's heavy shit. It's old.
I'm like, man, that's not really the face you want to like. That's not. I'm surprised no one else was laughing, because to me that was like unreal. I just couldn't believe it. He looked so dumb in such an epic moment.
Were you okay with him being back?
Yeah, I was fine with it. I kind of agree with what you're saying, though. It doesn't really make a ton of sense, but that's the plague of this movie.
Yeah.
Is that it either had to make sense and not be as good, or not make sense and be good.
Yeah. And it worked in this movie that everybody was able to come back. Like, I actually enjoyed Han Solo coming back, even if he
did not see that coming.
Didn't see it coming, and even if he hates it, I felt like he did a good job in it. Like, it was an effective scene. The only problem I have with it now is, like, they used it good in this movie, but it's kind of like, I kind of hope they get away from it. Like, the fact that basically nobody's ever dead and we have to see these actors in every movie, like, I'm comfortable, like you said, it's a good cast. I'm comfortable with Rey and Finn and all them. We can do more shit with them. I don't have to see these ghosts and holograms.
And they'll do an episode 10. Like, they've marketed this movie as the last Star Wars or whatever.
Which it's not.
It's not.
My mom kept saying that too. She's like, yeah, well, that's it. I'm like, what? No, it's not, dude. They're going to keep making more.
You don't make $1 billion
every movie and not keep making it.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, why would you stop making $1 billion?
Yeah. I don't want them to. I want them to just keep making Star Wars movies.
Yeah, it's fine with me. But they need to get more creative. Like, they made a bunch of shit up in this movie, and even in the previous movie.
And
but like,
cool,
and it was cool. But like, keep doing it. Make shit up and make it different. Like, make it
a different time period,
right?
Like,
or storyline or anything. And if it's a different time period, make up whatever you want. If the Force is different back then and powers work differently, great. I don't care. Like, yeah, just
different stuff.
Different, yeah. So,
what do you think about her killing Palpatine?
I mean,
cool.
Yeah, it was cool because I feel like what else are they gonna do? I don't know.
I mean,
I liked
with the dual lightsabers crossed or
yeah,
whatever.
I liked the dual lightsabers. I liked how she wasn't gonna kill him at first, and he's like kind of like he wants her to kill him, and he's got like this fake crowd that's there or whatever's going on. Like, that whole scene was good. But and then like, yeah, him, I guess, killing. Or what happens? She's like he's killing her with the lightning, and she like has the one lightsaber, and it's kind of like a 50-50 battle, and then she pulls out the second one.
Yeah, he says like, I'm all the Sith are in me, and then she's like, all the Jedi are in me, and she pulls back Luke's lightsaber and throws it up.
So what was the other one that she had?
Leia's lightsaber.
She was using Luke and Leia's?
She was using Leia's, and Ben was using Luke's.
Okay.
But then he got thrown down that hole.
Right.
And I honestly like that they killed him, because I was going to have some major problems with the Emperor, like, sucked y'all's soul out, basically. And, like, to revive himself. And, like, make his hands grow back, and he had, like, power again. And then y'all, like, laid on the floor for a minute, and then you're basically fine after that.
Right.
But they weren't fine because he almost...
She's been healing a bunch of people. He's fucked up.
But yeah, but like she died. Like, she would have died after that fight. Like, I guess, like, it just.
That's what it was implying.
It was implying that she would have died, and then he actually did die. So I was like, all right, good. At least there was a consequence to this. You know, like, it didn't just like, hey, I'm gonna suck your life. Like, you'll be cool in like 5 minutes. No offense, but we're here.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I guess I did appreciate it, because I was kind of thinking the same thing. I was like, okay, so yeah, what are their health bars, basically? Yeah. It's like, what's happening here? Right, because I'm like, man, how much of her life is she... Because I was thinking that throughout the movie. I was like, how much of her life and her power is she sacrificing by healing all these people? Mm-hmm. Yeah, or is it one of those things to where, like, in any other game or movie where, like, you know, she goes and meditates with the rocks? Like, does that give her, like, force powers and, like, re-heal her? Like, she reconnects with the earth, it gives her force or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so, like, you know, I would have accepted that. They didn't really go over it, which is fine. But yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, if he sucked the life out of both of them, like, how much strength do they have? she does the dual lightsaber thing. Basically, I guess Tony Stark's herself. You know, she like basically sacrifices herself to kill the bad guy, and fucking yeah, Ben saved her. But that's the other, my mom was like mad that they like killed him. She was like, I thought they were gonna, you know, be together finally and like, you know, rule the galaxy in a good way and like, you know,
That would have been cool too.
and
But the thing
fuck
is,
shit
like,
up together. And I was like, dude, like, I just hate his face so much. I was like, no, I'm like, that was a good way for them to do it. Like, he like did a good thing. He was a good guy. Good battle. He's dead.
You gotta think about it though. Like this guy, he like murdered people and like killed all these people and slaughtered all these people and like was just evil just because he wanted to be. And he used to cause for both Han and Luke's death basically, because he made Luke like strain himself basically to distract them. Like remember he projected himself across the galaxy.
Yeah.
Like,
and he's killed.
How could you go like, yo, dude? Like, guess what I just got? Like, guess what I just ran into out there? Like, he's cool now. He's cool.
Yeah, he's cool.
You
You
can't
killed your
undo
whole
that.
family, Johnson, right? But no, he's on our team now.
Yeah, he killed everyone we love in this universe.
Yeah,
and killed his mom too, kind of, because he made her like reach out and basically use all of her energy just to save him, I guess.
Yeah.
So he killed like all three.
Yeah, he slaughtered a lot of villages, and this is kind of connected to that. The I guess the new like black girl that was a former stormtrooper that Finn's gonna bang, since he's gonna bang all the new characters, I guess, because he can't bang Rose anymore because she's not getting any screen time. But
maybe that's why.
I did like the fact that she was also a stormtrooper that had a problem doing the things that they were doing. Like I like
just one person.
Right, there's more than one person. And like the fact that these stormtroopers are real people and they have like a conscience, and some of them just won't do the messed up stuff that the Empire's doing, and it's super awesome that they're that messed up. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just like I liked that whole angle of it. I feel like it just made it a little bit better.
I agree.
Oh, and what did you think of the Knights of Ren? I feel like they could have done more. I feel like they could have fought a little bit more.
Yeah, I think what was missing is they just needed a scene where they really go in and wreck someone's shop. And
right.
That way, when we see him at the end, and it's like, oh shit, like Kylo's going to take on all of them at the same time. Like, it's going to be really
because he
tough.
did do that, right?
Yeah, he did do that, but like we never saw them fight. So like, what is?
But that was a good scene, right?
Yeah, I like that scene a lot. You know, they switch the lightsaber,
and he
to
kicks
him.
ass.
He kicks
yeah.
ass. She kicks ass at the same time. She's like throwing people's like, because they're people using guns against her, and she like rips their like I guess blaster bolt and like throws it into another guy.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, they needed to have, I think, one scene in there where they kill just a lot of people in a really cool way.
Yeah,
and then they would have been used better. But yeah.
And I thought the head knight of Ren, or whatever, the guy that kills General Hux, I thought he was strong. Like, he was good.
Oh, yeah.
He was good in his role.
Like, as I served you in the old wars.
Right.
I was like, oh, yes, dude.
Yeah, I was like, oh, dude, homage to the old shit, bro. And,
Rebellion.
and then the way he died, like, his ship blew up, and he was, like, on the captain's deck, and I was just like, fuck, yeah. Get messed up, dude.
That's all I got.
Yeah, like I said, I thought the movie was hilarious throughout for good and bad reasons, especially never underestimating a droid. So, and then, like I said earlier, I just, like, and I'm assuming he didn't do it because he wanted Darth Vader to be angry, but it's like Palpatine probably could have just healed, like, Padme, like, in the original trilogy. I feel like Padme didn't have to die, right? Unless the powers weren't discovered yet. But, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, honestly. But why would he want that? Because then
yeah,
he wouldn't have an apprentice.
Why?
He probably wouldn't be as evil if he had a wife. You know?
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Adam Driver's face was definitely a problem.
We'd see that.
And then, how'd you feel about him getting the mask back? The Kylo Ren mask?
I love the mask.
Yeah, I like the mask.
I don't mind him without the mask, but I love the mask.
I love
like how it had the red, like, ember streaks in it.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. But I like it a lot better than his face. So, yeah, definitely love the mask.
I like the mask and the hood. He never had the mask and the hood in this one. I like it when he has both.
It kind of, I guess I didn't understand, too. Whenever they're doing the thing where they're, like, in the same room, him and, like, Rey are in two completely different rooms, and she's in his quarters, and they fight. and he doesn't realize until the Darth Vader mask falls that she's in his quarters.
They can only see themselves.
Okay. Because I thought at one
That's
point...
why he rips the thing off her neck and is like,
Right.
here, analyze this.
Right.
Because that's all I can see.
Because for a while I thought they could see their surroundings based on like a different scene or context clues, but I guess you're right. Yeah, the only way he could tell was like he got the raindrops on his face that one time and 8, got the necklace the other time.
And he says in 8, he's like, I can't
see. I can see you, but I can't see you.
Can you see mine? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll show you mine if you show me yours, something like that. I believe.
That's hot. Yeah. Well, anyway. Yeah, that's pretty much everything I have.
Time for ranking? Time for,
Oh,
what
yeah.
are you giving it?
Yeah, what are you giving it?
9 decent.
Yeah, that's safe. Same.
I have our list here.
What list?
Our list of the Star Wars movies ranked.
Okay. Do it.
So,
wait, can you send that to me?
Yeah, I can send it to you real quick.
That way we can both look at it. Now, let me go over these other people's lists, too, while you're doing that.
Do.
So this guy, he's an idiot. He said, after finishing the Star Wars movies, the one in theaters is not included. Here are my thoughts and placement of my favorite to least favorite. Had to rephrase this because none of the movies were bad. He said none of the movies were bad.
All right.
His favorite, Rogue One. Second favorite, Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Third favorite, The Last Jedi. Fourth favorite, what? That's the one I have the biggest problem with.
Dude, the second is Phantom Menace. That movie is awful.
I know.
That movie is like awful.
I know. The fourth one, Revenge of the Sith. Arguably the best movie. Should be way higher. The fifth, Force Awakens. To me, also good, but sixth is Return of the Jedi, which...
Where is Empire?
Ninth.
So it's the second to least
favorite, and it's probably one of the best in my opinion. Oh well. Return of the Jedi, Attack of the Clones is 7th. New Hope is 8. So he thinks New Hope is better than Empire Strikes Back, and then he thinks Solo is his least favorite.
I agree with only his last pick.
That's all I agree with. Keep in mind that this is the first time I ever see these movies. I love the music, but I've never had the chance to watch the movies. Overall, great stuff. This other person put updated Star Wars ranking main series only.
Okay.
Number 1, Empire. Complete opposite of this other guy.
All right, yeah.
Number 1 is Empire. Number 2, New Hope. No, I'll put it towards the bottom. Number 3, though, Revenge of the Sith. Shout out to this guy.
Okay.
Safety. Number 4, Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
So far, I kind of like the top 4 except A New Hope. Number 5, Last Jedi. Number 6, Rise of Skywalker. So he likes 8 better than 9. He likes Force Awakens the least, which honestly I think I like it the best.
Of the new trilogy.
We'll have to go over that.
Wow.
Force Awakens, and then his last movies are Attack of the Clones 8th, Phantom Menace 9, which I would just flip those. But I agree with that. Those two are like the worst.
Yeah. That's a pretty solid list. I mean, it just...
You like 8 better than... Okay, well, how do you feel about the new trilogy? Rank the new trilogy.
Dude, it's so tough. It's so tough.
It is.
I feel like... Do you know what... Like, this movie is not... critically isn't doing well. I don't know if you've seen that.
Really?
It's 55%.
Like, critics don't like it?
No. But it's already made... It's going to make more than The Last Jedi. Which makes no sense.
Because it's better.
Yeah. But, like... I like all 3, honestly. Like, I have problems with some of the things in all of them.
All of them, yeah.
But I like all 3 at the end of the day. Like, I'd watch any of them over most movies any day.
Yeah.
Unless I just saw them.
I would watch any of those 3 over 1, 2, and 4.
Okay.
3, 5, and 6 to me are better or the same depending on the mood. It depends on my mood. And also, like, these are the newest ones, so they're going to look the best. Mm-hmm. So that automatically gives them a little bit of advantage. But yeah, 3, 5, 6 are still probably my favorites, but these are better than that. Rogue One's obviously good, but I don't know.
Rogue One is good. It's just...
I've already seen it enough times, and I didn't really need to see it to begin with, so it's like... I'm done with that movie. And then Solo, yeah, whatever.
Solo's a waste of time, honestly.
Yeah.
That's the only Star Wars movie I've seen one time.
What, Solo?
Yeah.
Okay, so still, how do you said you like every movie in this trilogy? I would rank it 7, 9, 8. I think 7's my favorite.
Dude, I just don't know, honestly. Like, it's so tough because to me, The Last Jedi has like some of the best scenes, but it has like some of the worst scenes too.
Yeah.
Which makes it hard to rank. And then and then the other two movies, you know, they kind of make The Last Jedi pointless.
Right.
And you know, The Force Awakens I love, but it's a little too safe. And then, would you think this new movie is safe? I don't think it's safe, honestly. I think it's kind of bonkers, honestly. I think some of the things they did were really just weird, and I can't believe
like
they actually
what?
did them. The cloning thing and the
Palpatine.
Yeah, I can't believe they actually did that because it doesn't make sense. They don't explain it, but they still do it anyway.
Maybe that's what they mean by safe. The fact that they were like, our villains aren't working out, so we're just going to go with the original villain.
See, to me, like, that's what I really wish they had done is just, I wish we could have just scrapped 8, unfortunately, because I like that movie, but I wish they could have, to me, I feels like this movie is so fast and has to do so much because 8 kind of threw everything off. Like, if they had introduced Palpatine in that movie and been like, yeah, he's pulling the strings for Snoke the whole time, like, and just done a little bit of work in that movie towards this movie, it wouldn't have had to been so rushed. Like, we already know where Palpatine's coming from. We can maybe, you know, let things, you know, we can work on some things here and there and not have a plot that's kind of But this movie is, like, really fun, and
Yeah.
7 and 9 are, like, really, really fun movies, and they're, like, super fast-paced, and I was telling Jordan, I really don't feel like there's a ton of fat on either one of them. Like, I feel like they're pretty lean in terms of, there aren't, like, useless scenes in them. Like, they're all pretty great, like, in terms of, it's either action, or it develops a story, or we're moving fast enough to where I don't care, you know?
I agree, because I felt that way the whole movie, because I had to pee pretty early in the movie, and I, like, couldn't find a good time to go to the bathroom. I was like, I don't want to go. I was like, I don't want to miss anything. And it's rare that I feel that in a movie. And luckily, I went to the bathroom on, like, the least important part, so it worked out.
That being said, I don't want to dodge the question anymore. I guess I'd go 7. Yes, I'll go with you. 7, 9, 8. Yeah.
I don't know, because I feel like 7, you know, they just, like, even though it was kind of like a similar story to 4, it's like at least they had a sense of direction. Like, everything just flowed so nicely in that movie. Mm-hmm. And like the new characters worked, you know?
And it was great to like get to know them, and they had like good backstories, and the action was great, and we get to see old characters, but it wasn't like played out at that point. And then you know, there was a lot of like, whoa, who are all these people? Like, you know?
It all worked. And 9 did good with the characters as well, but like, there was a lot of like, backtracking and tying loose ends and stuff like that, and that kind of plagued it. But
to me,
to
me 9 is like, I feel like that's as good a movie as you could have made.
Yeah, probably.
Because I don't know how you make a sequel to 8 when so many things are kind of tied up in that movie to where there's really not much space for another one. You have to almost introduce a new villain because you can't really show. It'd be kind of boring to watch Kylo Ren and Rey go at it for a third movie, and there not really be any sort of big bad over them, or there wouldn't be a chance for redemption for Ben. And like, where do the characters go? You know what I mean? Like, it's just and there's like no resistance left. You know, there's like 5 people left. It's just, you know. Yeah. I think it's as good as it could have been, but I'm still kind of disappointed in it.
Were you more disappointed in this movie than when you saw Last Jedi?
No.
You were disappointed when you saw Last Jedi?
I wasn't that disappointed, honestly.
So you're more disappointed when you saw this movie?
Yeah, I was more disappointed when I saw this movie, but it's weird where I don't really blame this movie. I just kind of, like, to me, Endgame is like one of the best ways to end something, and I wanted like the Star Wars version of that. I didn't get that, but you know, I'm sure there's like other trilogies we could think of that have a good third movie, but it's not like the most epic in like the Batman trilogy. Like the third one's probably not the best, but it's still like really good. And It's nice. You know?
Naked Gun 3.
Naked Gun 3, another fantastic trilogy.
Maybe Rush Hour 3, but honestly, the more I think about it, the more it's rough, yeah.
Indiana Jones 3, maybe.
Maybe. But then they made a fourth.
God,
Lethal Weapon. Then they made a fourth. So, Fast and the Furious. And then they made
Spider-Man
a ninth.
3.
Yeah, apparently Cardi B is going to be in like Fast 9 or 10. I've been meaning to tell you that for like a year.
Great, dude. I've
Whatever.
had like
I've had
9
enough.
reasons not to watch it, and I was looking for that 10th so I can get all. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, and also before I forget,
One
I
more
know
person
they're
that can act, boom.
I know they're not going to. I know they're not going to stop making Star Wars, but is this cast done, or like Ray, Poe, and Finn done?
They say they're done, but you can't tell me that. Like they're gonna be brought back in
Some way, shape,
like
or
just think
form.
about episode 10, like what like that markets itself in terms of like, oh dude, episode 10, like episode X, like
Yeah,
that's just so like sick, you know what I mean? Like that just
Yeah.
doesn't that just seem like something you can see?
I'm hard. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So it's
So-
just like they're gonna do it, and they're gonna back up a dump truck of money to these people's houses, and they're gonna be like, okay, I'll do it, you know?
yeah.
Because why wouldn't you?
I don't know.
And you know, I don't. I'm looking forward to that because
Hmm.
there's not going to be really any ties to the main trilogy. But I want them to take a break from it for a while. I want them to let's start 10,000 years ago, or let's start 10,000 years from now. Let's start on the other
Well,
side
you
of the
can't.
universe.
Well, okay, I was gonna say you have to change the distance because you change the time too much. Those characters aren't going to be in the movie.
No, I'm just saying, like for now, let's do a trilogy of just completely new stuff in a completely new time, and then we'll go back to that. You know, for episode 10, we'll call these like new ones.
Oh, okay, spinoffs like one-offs.
Whatever you wanna
yeah,
call
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Rogue 2.
Like let's experiment a little before we go back to the same thing again.
Okay.
And maybe next time we have an actual plan.
All right,
So
so
you
we.
got our ranking here.
I have our ranking here, and our 8 through 10 are the same movies, different order. Actually, sorry, 7 through 10 are the same movies, different order, only by one though. So episode 2, Solo, 1 and 4. Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. I can't believe you have it 6. I have which one's episode? Fuel?
Episode 8. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
okay, of course. The only one. Yeah.
So I guess would you agree that it's better than our first, our 10 through 7 there? Being 2 Solo, episode 1 and 4.
I really agree with my ranking. I like where I have all
It's
my
your
movies.
ranking. Why
Yeah,
would you not agree?
I just figured it might have changed since then, but wow, you put 5, 6. Wow, 5, 6, 8. 5, 6, 8, 7. So does your list stay the same?
No, I gotta flip 7 and 8.
So you're putting 7 above 8, and then 9. So you have to put 9 in between that, right?
Dude, honestly, I gotta flip 7 and 8 so it reads number 1, Empire Strikes Back. Number 2, Return of the Jedi. Number 3, Force Awakens. And then
Number 4, episode 9. You said 7, 9, 8.
yeah, I think I'll go with that. And honestly, while we're at it, it's gonna be more blasphemy to you, but number 7 is A New Hope, and number 6 is Revenge of the Sith. I'm gonna flip those. I like A New Hope more than Revenge of the Sith.
Why?
I just watched them like the other day, and I enjoy that movie more, honestly. I just think it's cooler. I don't know.
Well, okay, yeah, no, it's good. It's great.
There's some stuff in episode 3 that's like, God damn it, like
Oh, it's
why-
rough.
Why is there this stupid ass like?
That's why it's funny.
Why are all the droids the dumbest voice in the world? Why is General Grievous killed in 5 seconds?
Contracts. Yeah, I don't know. All right.
Contracts.
So hang on. So your ranking now is Empire Strikes Back is number 1, Return of the Jedi, Force Awakens,
And then
Rise of Skywalker, and then Last Jedi, and then Rogue One, and then New Hope, Revenge of the Sith, Phantom Menace, Solo Episode 2.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I don't know where I'm squeezing in 9.
And honestly, I need to watch Solo again because that might be number 10. You might be right about that one.
Mine might be, but Episode 2 is pretty rough. But you saw that recently, so you'll be the
That movie
better.
was so long.
Yeah,
It's so long.
It's so
dude.
long.
It's the same length as this movie we just like of Rise of Skywalker.
And this movie didn't feel that long.
No, dude.
No. It was pretty bad. Let's see. So I got 5, 7, 3, 6. Yeah, you might be able to flip 6 and 3 for me. That might be the only thing I would change, just because every time I see 6, I always enjoy it. And Revenge of the Sith, I pretty much for sure enjoy like the last hour, but everything before that I really can't ever remember. I normally nap, so you might be able to flip that, because 3 is actually super long as well.
Yeah,
3 is really long.
At least there's stuff
but it's
in
better.
it you like.
Yeah,
you know?
of course. Yeah, so I guess I'm gonna put it. So my top 4 is not gonna change. Like I said, you could flip 3 and 6 on any given day, but I'm gonna put episode 9 after that. So episode 9 would be number 5 for me, bumping Rogue One down one. Only because Rogue One is a fantastic movie. I don't love it that much because I'm one with the Force, and the Force is with me is kind of annoying, and the fact that the movie is really just like not that necessary because we know the end result, but then obviously that Darth Vader scene at the end is super dope. So like the movie is good, and it's got good characters and it's well cast. But I just like this movie more just because it was cooler and it's not as predictable in the fact that it's obviously it's a new movie. It's like following the timeline. It's not jumping in the middle of it.
So you don't put it over episodes 3 or 6? There's that much of a gap between 7 and 9 to you? Between Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker? Because Force Awakens is your number 2.
Right. Because I really liked it, and I really like 3 and 6, so I just can't. I can't put it above it. It might jump above 3 maybe on a given day. Now that 3 is number 4, so maybe it's 4th. But I don't know, man. It's tough to beat. It's over. Anakin and I have the high ground, and
That's true.
your new empire. Stuff like that. It's just don't make me kill you.
We basically both think the movie is really good, just not the best, not in the conversation for the best Star Wars movie.
No, and we kind of both threw it in the middle of our lists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both gave it a mad decent.
Both giving them a decent. We always have great conflict on this show. I like that.
We don't.
Yeah. Okay.
And I really thought we were, honestly.
You thought we were going to disagree a lot?
Yeah.
What did you? I can still.
Because we disagree a pretty decent amount on The Last Jedi. So I kind of just thought the sequel to that movie we would have
beef.
More beef about it.
Yeah. I was surprised. I think my expectations were so low because I was so pissed about Last Jedi, and I was hearing rumors here and there that I just went to the movie and I was like, dude, fuck it. Whatever they show me, I'll just deal with it. I'll see what happens. And the whole movie, I was like, cool, I don't know, I guess I need to lower my expectations more.
That is the theme I've seen multiple times.
Yeah, and I was thinking about changing, the name of this show to, movie...
Lower your expectations?
That or Movies with Money's Mom, because I feel like I'm seeing every one of these movies
with
my mom. Yeah.
Are we going to see Jumanji?
We need to. I'm dying to.
But you're busy tomorrow.
Well, yeah.
What about the day after?
Okay.
Really?
We can make it work.
Yeah.
Just take your pants off. I don't know. We'll find a way. Yeah, Jumanji. I wanted to see Bombshell. I wanted to see Richard Jewell.
Yeah.
I wanted to see we already saw Knives Out. I can't think of what else is out. Something else is out.
Ford v Ferrari. You already saw.
Yeah. You should
Never
see it.
about it.
What?
Should I really?
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
You told me it was a movie.
Yeah, it was a movie. 2.5 hours. Yeah, your our one word reviews are pretty efficient. I mean, I generally know what's going on in that one word.
That's true. Maybe.
Of course, what did you mean when you sent help or hope? What were you going for there? What were you trying to convey to me?
Just how, how kind of Star Wars tropey the movie is.
Okay.
In terms of the things they say, and it's, use the Force and believe in yourself, and rebellion. It's
rebellion.
I thought that was a good review of the movie. And then you sent me Fuelless, which is another great review.
How did you interpret it?
I interpreted it. See, I don't know why I didn't. I was like, man, I should have interpreted it as, he liked the movie because I didn't mention fuel.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell if you were being sarcastic or not. So.
I am an enigma. I don't know why it won't pull it up, but the other movie I couldn't think of was Uncut Gems. I want to see that. Right. So Jumanji and Uncut Gems are at the top of my list right now, in terms of for us to see next.
And you want to see Jumanji just to dump on it, basically.
Yeah, I'm hoping to dump on it, or
it's really good.
Well, and also the cast is enjoyable, and it's supposed to be a comedy, so
Potentially Jack Black's last movie.
Why?
Because he's retiring from acting.
To do what? Be fat? Like what?
Yes.
Like what is he gonna do?
He's tired of it being his background hobby. He's ready to take it seriously.
What the fuck? Well, why would he make this his last movie? Like, don't you want to go out on something good? You know, like, like, but yeah, we were talking about something else. Okay, so you have anything else to say on Star Wars? Both
No.
gave it mad decent. So, just one last little funny thing before we get out of here. I've been watching Sopranos. I've like finished a season of Entourage and Sopranos, so I'm moving
Nice.
along. I was
I'm
consuming.
actually very impressed.
Yeah, there was like a week there where I was consuming some content, and then like Christmas came and kind of threw all that off. I'm hoping to get back on the gravy train here, but I was watching The Sopranos, and this guy named Paul Lee is like one of the top guys for Tony Soprano. You know, the boss of the family.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, Paulie is like an earner for Tony. He has to kick money up to Tony every week or every month or however they do it. And so he's always looking for ways to, you know, obviously make money. And I think he like overheard these old ladies talking. Like he has his mother in like this super snotty, like uppity retirement home with a bunch of other old ladies, and he like heard one of them talking to his mom about like her stash of money under her mattress. So like whenever they're out like playing bingo or something, he like breaks into this lady's like room and starts digging under her mattress for money. And like of course as he's doing it, the lady like comes home and is like, "What the fuck?" And she's like, "What are you doing here?" And he goes, "Oh, I was like, you know, fixing your box spring or something." You know, he like just made something up. And she goes, "Oh yeah, well, I'm gonna call your mother and let her know you're visiting. You know, so, you know, let her know you're here." He goes, "Oh no, don't do that," you know. And so like then it gets like really tense, you know, because like she knows what's going on and he knows what's going on, and like he like puts the phone down and he's like trying to touch her and like talk to her, but you know, like trying to like grab her hands, like, "Hey, just calm down, you know, it's cool, you know, I'm just here, I'm helping you, you know, I'm doing you," you know. He's like, "I'm doing you a favor, you know, bitch, like what's up," you know. And she finally like comes out and she goes, "I know you're a dirty thief, you know, you come on over here and steal my money out of my mattress, you know, you're a lousy son of a bitch," you know. And she's just like reading him the right, and he goes, "Hey, I would never do that," you know. And then like next, you know, he's like choking her out.
Wow.
And he like how does he kill her? Oh yeah, he just like he straight up kills her. He like chokes her out with a pillow or his hands or whatever. So he like kills his mom's friend. They're not really friends, but he kills his mom's friend in the retirement home, just straight up murdered her.
Wow.
Over some money in her mattress. And then like it just cuts to the next scene. I'm like, what did he do with the body? Like, how did he get out of there? Like, how did he get away with it is what I want to know. Because like, and the other thing that I found funny about it is like not the murder, because that was super intense, but like the next day he like goes to visit Tony with the money, because he got the money, he killed her, so he was able to rob her. So he like goes to Tony with the money and he's like, "Hey Skip, like what's up?" And he like gives him the envelope and he's just like, "Hope you like what I got you." And I just think that's psychotic, dude. Like he just killed an old lady
And didn't care.
and he like the
was
next
perfectly
day
fine.
he's like, "Hey boss, what's up, man? Like, how did you watch the game?" Like, you know, gives him the envelope of money.
Are you enjoying the show?
Oh yeah, dude. Like
Yeah.
shit like that to me is like just wild, dude. Like just the way they act, like he just, because it just feels so real, you know what I mean? Like in a lot of action movies, the reason why I enjoy them less is because they're so unrealistic that sometimes it just kind of sucks me out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why I kind of like the gangster stuff, because there's just it, and that's why I liked like the Batman trilogy so much for a superhero movie, is because it just had that element of like realism, and I don't know, that just does it for me. Like if I believe it more, it like
Just more
gets me
enjoyable.
harder. So even though like in gangster movies the action is less, it's like more believable and feels more real. Like I could see it happening. Like in John Wick, I could never picture that happening. It's super cool. Like obviously they do it the best, so they're the most enjoyable. But like, you know, those in between action movies that are neither
Taken 3.
there you go. Any Liam Neeson movie. So yeah, that's that.
All right. Well,
Yeah, make sure you guys interact with us on social media. We don't post or anything, but definitely make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let us know your preferred name or pronoun. As always, put in your sexual preferences too. We want to make sure we're being as inclusive as possible because that is what we're all about.
That is important.
Yeah. Also be on the lookout for more Mandalorian reviews. I definitely want to get back into that show, creating more content, consuming it. Yeah, okay. I want to. After seeing this movie, all I want to do is play Battlefront 2K and watch basketball and Star Wars. That's all.
At the same time,
all
I think 8 hands to make that happen.
That's what I'm all about right now. So yeah, for Reagan, I'm Ryan. You guys have a good night.
What happened? Where are they? I don't know, sir. They must have hyperjets on that thing. And what do we got on this thing? A Cuisinart? No, sir. We'll find them, catch them. Yes, sir. Prepare ship for light speed. No. Light speed is too slow. Light speed too slow? Yes, we're gonna have to go right to ludicrous speed. Ludicrous speed? Sir, we've never gone that fast before. I don't know if the ship can take it. What's the matter, Colonel Sam?